Hey folks, I'm Jared.
I'm Andrew.
And we're Gays Who Garden. Over the past year, we've been sharing photos from our garden on our Instagram account, Gays Who Garden. And recently we were like, maybe we should branch out to video. So here we are. This is our first video.
So 2 years ago, we began this journey when we purchased this house. To put it politely, it was a blank canvas when it came to the outside. It was actually a piece of garbage, but since then, we have landscaped all around the yard, putting in many different plants, introduced all different types of ornamental and native plants.
Yeah, so a lot of people ask us, like, who's the gardener, who does what? But we both do a little bit of everything, right? But we do have a couple of focuses between the two of us.
Yeah, so for instance, I, as many people have already guessed through looking at our profile, I focus mainly on roses. That's been kind of my point of focus from the beginning. Oh, hi Jules, how you doing? So for people who are familiar with our Instagram profile, you've probably already noticed that I tend to focus more on roses. That's always been kind of my point of interest. It's kind of the link that I have with gardening, what's really special to me. But also all different types of flowering perennials and annuals and pretty much anything that has flowers and fragrance. I love it.
So I focus on native plants as well as houseplants and design. I love design from the perspective of both outside and in. So we recently reached out to our Instagram followers and asked, what are some questions you'd like us to answer in our first video?
Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to reach out and give us suggestions.
Yes. Okay. So we got a lot of responses, and a lot of them would actually be really great videos on their own or part of a video. So one of the first questions, and actually this goes along with another question we got, which is, one, how did we get into gardening? But also two, who got who into gardening?
So me personally, I got into gardening when I was a kid, pretty much, when I first took my first steps. My dad actually has a photo of me walking out of our apartment complex and picking up one of those Mexican primroses and holding out to the picture and offering it to my dad as a gift. So that pretty much, he already knew that I was a gardener just like him. And I actually was introduced to his favorite plant, which also happens to be the rose. Back when I was a kid, and it just became a tradition that he would gift me a rose every birthday of my choice. And not only do I remember the look of the rose, but also the fragrance that brings back a lot of memories. So that was kind of my personal connection to gardening. And since then, it has just been kind of like the gateway into the world of gardening in general.
Frankly, I blame Fern Gully. I have loved plants since I was a little kid, but I got really, really into plants when I went to Japan in college, and I went to this village outside of Tokyo that's really into bonsai. I came back obsessed with bonsai. I was gonna grow all these trees from seed. I did it in my college dorm room. It was great. But that turned into a genuine love of houseplants and keeping plants in planters. And that really evolved really nicely when we moved into a house and had to landscape what Andrew described as garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage, y'all.
So as far as next questions, we got some questions about, there was one about pruning techniques. So that's definitely a video I think that we can have.
Yes, a lot of people have asked me the proper way of pruning roses in particular, and I'd love to cover that with y'all.
Yeah. Then we got some questions about how to propagate roses. That's definitely something that we could do in the future for sure.
Yes, any way I can propagate my love for roses and share it with y'all, I will do so.
One person asked, what was the first movie that we saw in theaters? Frankly, I don't remember. I don't remember. I tried to check our Alamo Victory account. I do not I do not know.
Well, what was the last movie that we saw together? Parasite. Parasite, y'all.
Yeah, I do love Parasite. Great movie, no matter what Donald Trump says.
So wholesome. Great for the family.
Yeah, yeah, literally about a family.
Yeah.
A family that's going through a lot.
What?
So, then somebody asked about what's a cute story about the two of us that involves plants. I mean, one of the, kind of the more traditional cute coupley thing that we did recently was we got married. Yeah, hello. And we actually got married in the UK, just south of Bath, Bath. And our officiant was a drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
We both love drag.
We had a helmet made, or a headpiece rather, made of roses. So I was quite partial to this drag queen.
Yeah, felt right.
Felt
But of course, like one of the things involved with that is picking flowers, making sure that the flowers are right, and we definitely had some pretty great arrangements. And one of the reasons that we went to the UK in the first place was because we love English gardens.
And particularly for me, English roses. And as all y'all familiar with, all my rose enthusiasts, David Austin Roses. David Austin is started in Shropshire, England, and that was the birthplace of the English rose. So that really held, that holds a really deep place in my heart.
One of the next questions that I wanted to go over, which actually kind of can be broken down into a few things, is somebody asked what our favorite plant is. Pretty basic question. But I want to break this down into a few different ways. So the first is, what's your favorite flower, Andrew? Because obviously you focus on flowers.
Surprise, surprise, y'all, it's the rose. It's the rose, y'all. The rose. Rose is my favorite plant. And it should be yours too.
My favorite flower is absolutely the poppy. I love poppies. They have a very long history in the world. They're really beautiful. They look like paper. They're very delicate and just die quickly. It's great. I love poppies. But also, what is your favorite tree?
My favorite tree, I would say flowering tree, to be specific, is the magnolia tree. Come to find out, there are tons of different types of magnolias. I had no idea. I thought there was just like one magnolia. Nope, there's a lot of different ones. The one we have growing in our backyard in particular is the teddy bear magnolia. It is very cute.
Yeah, we actually found out about the variety of magnolias by accidentally buying the teddy bear magnolia. It's absolutely not the kind we wanted, but it's there now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely paid too much for it, but it's there now.
Oh, and by the way, my favorite non-flowering tree would have to be the Japanese maple. The colors of Japanese maple are just so gorgeous. You can see the nice transition of colors throughout the seasons, and it's just so beautiful.
Love Japanese maple trees too. We can't grow them here in Central Texas. They absolutely sell them so that you can watch them die, but they don't really grow well here outside Austin.
But never say never. Wherever there's a will, there's a way, and people have told me that they're able to grow Japanese maples here. But anyway, I digress. So
my favorite tree is actually a tie. This is a super Texas answer, but I love Texas live oak. I think that is a beautiful, weird, gnarly tree. Gnarly is in like literally gnarly, not like literally, like And then I'd say the tie would be with the Montezuma bald cypress. Those are, if you've never seen them, look it up. They are crazy looking trees because when they grow close to water, like they get these knees, they call them, that come out. The bark is beautiful and they kind of like drape their foliage down like willow trees. They're beautiful, beautiful trees and they get huge. Okay, Andrew, we went over favorite flower. We went over favorite tree. Now for hot takes. What is your least favorite plant. What plant do you hate?
I don't like to use the word hate. It's a very strong word. I would say the plant that I am least likely to plant in my garden, either because we're not able to provide the environment that and conditions that it needs to flourish, or for aesthetic purposes or whatnot, I would say, Jared's gonna hate me for this, is the Agarita plant. And I'm sorry, just my personal opinion, I wouldn't plant it just because I feel like my personal opinion is if you have to like plant it far away from a pathway so that you don't constantly get cut by it because the leaves are so pointy, like pointy AF, like I would, no place in my garden. Sorry. And you're probably thinking to yourself,
but it's in your garden now. I put it there.
That was your part of the garden, so you got to decide what you wanted to do with it.
Okay.
So you're probably thinking, well, Andrew, you're obsessed with roses. Aren't you like a hypocrite? It's like, yes and no. No, because although roses are prickly, there are literally thousands of cultivars of roses, and you can select roses that don't have pricks or practically have no pricks at all. So you have a choice. Agarita, no choice. No.
So I do want to point out he's calling them pricks, which is hysterical.
They're technically pricks.
Yeah, they're not thorns, although everybody thinks of them as thorns, but it is hysterical calling them pricks.
I'm sorry, I'll call them thorns. But anyway, roses have plenty redeemable, characteristics, such as they're beautiful. But other than that, Agaritas, they're great for pollinators, they're evergreen, they're super drought tolerant, birds love them, they're great. If you have a place in your garden that they're looking for something to do that, then Agarita is probably definitely up your alley. So no shade against that, Agarita, but it's probably my least likely plant to plant.
Okay, my least favorite plant is the rose. No. My least favorite plant, and honestly, this is a hot take. I'm sorry. I know that people love this plant. I don't know why. I think that that's a mistake. I absolutely hate Tradescantia. I'm using, so it's garbage. I'm glad that he agrees. It's a garbage plant. I call it a garbage plant. And in case you're like, what's Tradescantia, Jared? You probably know it by, frankly, its anti-Semitic name. And I'm not going to use it out loud, but a lot of people on the internet like to call it wandering dude. And frankly, I want to say, we know what you're talking about. We know what you're saying. Rude.
Let's not use epithets to name plants. Plants are for everyone.
Thank you. Also, it's ugly. And it's very, very invasive. That's all. Now, we'd love to show you our garden, and we'd love to walk you around and give you a tour, but that's gonna have to wait until the spring. It's February right now. Our garden's in this weird adolescent phase, kind of like half between death and new life. So
we really do appreciate your patience. Just bear with us. We really do appreciate it. I know that a lot of people have requested that, but we are working on it, and we're just trying to tidy up some things, and we'll get a video out to y'all as soon as possible.
Well, it's been fun going through these icebreaker questions with you guys. And next time we'll definitely try to get together some plant tips for you, as well as some future plant tours through our backyard, and also tips with our own houseplants.
Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Tune in soon.
By the way, this is Jules.